Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dion. I call this channel the Crazy Troll Nation of YouTube, and I call this Chapstick Cake Batter Sensitive Flavored. We are reapplying this. We have it on from earlier. I did a live stream that ended about 30 minutes ago, 35 minutes ago. Yeah, so I'm going to tell you what's on my face. I'm looking toasty. The live stream was a haul video. Ulta Sephora Olay, excuse me for that. Nomad, Amazon, I forget where else. But it was, so two of the things we tried doing, but we're going to get to that. So I'm going to start from the basics. My brows, after I tell you what's on my face, we're going to prime the lids, and then I'll do the intro as I prime the lids, and then we're going to jump into another look, which will be our fourth look with some kind of haunted from Notoriously Morbid. I did finally put tape over this red because this was just, it was messy and it would just go anywhere. Even just opening a palette and the air hits it, it would just blow. But we're going to use shadows original to this palette because there's 3 shadows in here that are MAC shadows. And I said reasons why before. But Fenty eyebrow pencil, we use shade, I should know the shade, dark black. I've been using it for years. Fenty face primer, soft matte, and the soft matte foundation shade 335. I did use concealer today. Excuse me for being so rude and not being here. We used concealer today. Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place Flawless Wear Concealer. I wear shade 4N, which corresponds to the 4N2 foundations. But even when I don't use that foundation, I don't know why I said foundations, because it's just the one. Sometimes I use the concealer with it, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I don't use the concealer at all, especially with the Fenty foundation. I usually don't use concealer, but today I was tired, y'all. And the redness under here, so I have it under eye and here for the redness and across here for my really disrespectful mustache area. Fashion Fair Set It Loose powder. The shade is Truly Tony to set all of that. This is nothing new. And sometimes I think not to even tell y'all what's on my face, but then I'm thinking if someone is newly subscribed or they're just like popping in, they'll know. For bronzer, Grace sent me this Joe Beauty 87. This is matte bronzer and the shade is dark, and this is from Sigma. It's nice. I picked the Haus Labs blush at random, and at this point, yeah, I have Haus Labs blushes and a Sigma one that Grace sent me and a MAC one that came free with purchase. So I like to keep my collection small, y'all. At random, I picked Hibiscus Haze. And so that's what this is right here. Y'all, this was the first one I purchased because it was perfect. For the highlighter, we did in the try-on, because this is something new, Raw Amber Haus Labs highlighter, and it's described as a copper. So that's what's here. And I did think it does what I thought it was going to do. I said, is this going to give me a nice glow? It's going to blend in with my complexion, like you see this, right? But if this glow you see right here, that's pretty. That's what this is. So if you're on my complexion and you just want a glow, you don't want to be seen from space, you don't want a lot of sparkle, you don't want shine, you just want like a natural looking glow. Like, look at that. That's this. I love it. Another thing we tried new in that video was another Hourglass ambient lighting powder, which are supposed to be finishing powders. And this shade is Eternal Light. And I thought this would be a nice glow to add to my bronzers, but we did put it all over. So this toastiness you see, that is this. And if you look at any of my other videos, this right here on me is super yellow. I put it here and it's matching my chin. Like this got me toasty. And so I do think for winter, when I have like 0 tan, I think this would give me just a nice overall glow, but this is toasty on me. And for the summer, if I'm at the beginning stages of a tan, or if I am at my fullest tan, I do turn into a chocolate drop when I am full tan. I'm going to pop a picture up over here. Yeah, that was 2 days in the sun, about an hour, 2 days in a row, and I get tan quick. I was at Virginia Beach. But so if I just want like a subtle glow, this would work even at a full tan. If you're deeper than me, I think this would be great as a blush light, like on the top edge of your blush, or just like an overall just subtle sheen. And someone in the live chat, they're deeper than me. They're thinking of getting this to use as a blush light. So even though I hate that I love it and I love that I hate it, because they say they're universal. They're only universal if you can figure out how to use it in a way that works for you. Because this isn't all over finishing powder. And y'all see it got me looking toasty. It even made my yellow hair look tan. So it does what it says it's going to do. But I don't know if I'll still put it all over unless I have like 0 tan. But then that's going to make this look more yellow, because I'm yellow down here. More yellow than my face. But so if I'm looking toasty, that's why. Lower lash line. I'm trying to make sure I'm not forgetting anything that I have one and I'm not. Lower lash line on the first portion, this light shade. This is NYX Retractable Eyeliner, and the shade is Aqua Green. On the outer half, this shade here, we have NYX Retractable Eyeliner, and this is Gypsy Blue. On our inner rims, upper and lower, we have Sephora Ultimate Gel Eyeliner, waterproof, and the shade is Matte Black. And after a few minutes ago, I did spray my face with the Scandinavia Bridal Finishing Spray. I didn't spray it before because I knew I was going to do the try on for the highlighter and the finishing powder for the live stream. And you are going to want to watch that. That's all I'm going to say. And you'll always know there's information in the description box. That's all I'm going to say. So we're actually going to, I think I'm going to do this separate, because I did show the Atomic Shaker this shade, which is Rosewood Shine, which is, it's a nice nude for me. Y'all know I like a dark lip, but for days when I know I'm going to be eating and drinking and I don't want to be concerned about it coming off, this would be a good shade for that, because it does not need to be reapplied. But I think I'm going to do that separate just to show, and then maybe I'll come back and be like, this is what it looks like. I don't know. We'll see, because when I do this look, then I might want a darker lip. So let me go ahead and prime the lids. I do have brushes out. I am feeling prepared, which means I'm sure I forgot something. So thank you for being here. My name is Dion. If you're new here, excuse me for that. I appreciate you stopping in. I hope the message of the Crazy Troll Nation resonates with you. And I hope you find me informative and funny at the same time, I guess. Helpful. Definitely, I want to be helpful with what I'm doing. And I thank you for being here. If you're returning, what's up, my troll fam? I appreciate each and every one of you, and you know this. I call this the Crazy Troll Nation. The crazy, just knowing it's okay to be your authentic self. Not feeling like you need to emulate someone else, or you're trying to change your personality or how you say or do things because you're concerned with what people may say. Just do you, boo-boo. Be yourself. The troll part is not caring too much about the beauty community standards. You set the standard for yourself. As you're watching beauty-related content, try not to feel like you need to use that brand that they're using, the tools that they're using, the techniques that they're using, because the sense of I have to do things this way because they're popular, they're a large channel, and that's what they're saying to do, that feeling is real. And so I'm here to tell you, you don't have to. Use whatever you want to, however you want to, because you need to be satisfied with your makeup. The bottom line here excuse me, at the Crazy Troll Nation is self-acceptance and self-love. Embracing your natural features, enhancing them if you want to, when you want to, but never feeling like you have to. Love yourself for who you are and for how you look, even when you're not wearing makeup. That's the concept here. And yeah. So I'm patting this out because you can see where it is and where it isn't. Even though it looks kind of clear, it does say Invisipink on it, and it does have a tint to it. And sometimes I don't notice it until I put on shadow, and then it looks like it's color up here, and it's not. This is the primer. This is not my complexion. And so, but I usually do forget. So, excuse me, y'all. I'm still dealing with a lot of chest congestion from when I had the cold a couple weeks ago. And what used to happen quite often when I did catch a cold is that it would filter down and it would turn into an upper respiratory tract infection, because I also have asthma. And so that's why I'm kind of like, but anyway, I have been using my hair. So some kind of hate. This is the fourth look with this palette. I still don't know where I am with this palette. I do really like the colors. It's unfortunate that 3 of them are not original to the palette, because 2 of them crumbled when I swatched it, and 1 did not show up on me, and it was a mess to use. And so I'm like, what's the point to put in all the work and you're not even going to show up for the party? And those shades are this one, this, and this one. So we're going to make it a point to use shadows that are original to this. And what I'm thinking is here and here. Or was I thinking this one? Because when I look this way, this looks purple because it's a dual chrome. This is what I see in person. But looking where you are, I'm like, that doesn't look purple. But it is. So when I look at it this way, when I look over, it looks like this one in the viewfinder. Excuse me for the glare from that tape. This is a messy shade. I did start to just scoop it out, but I didn't want there to be just an empty pan because that looks weird too. But then the tape looks weird. So I think we're going to do this one, and this for outer corner, maybe brow bone, not sure. This is not original to the palette. I do like the looks that I've done with this palette. Some of these shades on me kind of look the same, and that's what had me feeling some kind of way, like, do I really want to keep, well, not keep, but like, where is this going to rank in my collection? Because it's important for me to love an entire palette, and as I said, it is unfortunate that three of these shades are not original to the palette. But I do like the color story. I do like the looks I did. Excuse me. So I do want to use it more. So we're going to take this shade down here, which is Otherworldly. That's what that one is called. And she bright, and she a little flaky. So I'm tapping off, and it's snowing green on my station. So we're going to put this, and these shades show up, y'all. Notoriously Morbid shows the hell up. And so I'm patting and pressing directly onto the primer. For me, the Fenty primer is a tacky primer, and you see how this just showed up. I did not need to add an additional adhesive. I didn't need to use glitter primer or glitter glue. I have a blending video, and I explain why I do my eyeshadow the way I do. And I do often say, like what I just said, like why I don't need extra adhesives, because I put the lid shade right on top of. Look at that. That's this shade. Doesn't that look? And I love that, other than if they're dual chrome or multi-chrome, Notoriously Morbid shadows do show up on me true to pan. And that is that shade. Like that. It looks darker on a brush, depending on which way I hold the palette. But when I put it on, just press, just pat and press. And you notice I'm not swiping. And this is a flaky shade. And it did tap off quite a bit. There's like green glitter particles, excuse me, on my station. And I see a little bit under my eyes already. But this is where we are with this. I just really like the formula. And, excuse me, when I order from Notoriously Morbid, I don't typically just order just one thing. Because one, I'm shipping, and I don't want to pay shipping twice. And number two, it takes like at least for me, everything takes about 3 weeks for me to get it. And so I'm like, if it is something I want to order, I'll wait till it's something else I want to order. The only thing I ordered by itself was the Bog Witch palette. And I was just like, I'm getting it, I don't care. But this is what we have. I'm going to take the brush we used for the setting powder and just wipe away the fallout. Did it wipe away? Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But we are going to keep on moving. So now we're going to take this shade here, which is Departed. Wait a minute. Okay, yeah. Because I'm like, what, did I mean to take this halfway? Excuse me, hiccup. I forgot to tell y'all, if you're new, I do curse. Did I say that? I curse in my channel sometimes, so I curse, period. Oh, and the organism that lives in my throat. I might have forgot to tell you that. There's something that lives in there that randomly hiccups, gurgles, and belches through videos. I do always say excuse me, though. But now I'm wondering, like, if I said that as part of the intro, because I don't want you guys to be surprised, like, ew, she gross, which I am, but I'm a troll. What do you expect? Welcome. Hi, glad you're here. So we're going to take the part of this shade here. Can I get it to shift again? So it's purple, and then it's like a bluish. So we're going to see, oh, my lids are sticking, which is good. We're going to see how this is going to look next to Otherworldly. And again, this palette is called Some Kind of Haunted. So we're going to just press and pat. Y'all, I like this. I do like this palette. And I don't know why. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know if it was because those shadows crumbled and it was just disappointing. And they were matte shadows. And we all have, you know, matte shadows. And I did put matte shadows in there. And I got as close to the color of the shadow that was in there as I could. But this is not the same shade. The other one was very, very light tan. I didn't have a light tan and a round pan to put in here. But this is making me think of the Pat McGrath Nocturnal Nirvana. I'm gonna pull that out super quick. I only have 3 quads, and so it's not gonna take me long to find it. Right? This green and this purple. And I know this wouldn't show up this way because there was another, my lethal shadows. I was like, oh, they look the same. And when I posted on my community tab, the shades look the same. But when I did one palette on one eye and one on the other eye, the looks was completely different. Like the lethal shadows, y'all, showed up and showed out. They were bright, they were vibrant, and it made Pat look dull as hell. It was still a pretty look. It was more like a soft kind of grunge, like a soft grunge look the Pat one gave. But lethal was like pow. I was like, holy Toledo, Batman. And so sometimes things look the same in the pan, and then when you put them on, it's like, oh, they don't look the same. But yeah, this is looking like that. I'm looking at this like, now I'm wondering, should I do one eye with these shades? I'm overlapping to get a blend very lightly. So I'm going to the green and just kind of pulling over. And I'm going to go back to the green and pull the other way. And so we're going to use the tip of the brush and just, you know, blend this upward. So I'm going back and forth and moving the brush upward, which is going to help the color travel upward more toward the brow. And so you see that, oh my gosh. So yeah, do I want to do that experiment again? We're taking the brush with the green, we're not adding more green. So we're going to go to the green and pull over the purple. And I'm doing this because I felt like I was covering up more of the green than I wanted to. That is pretty. So this is another way you can blend. Go to the green with the brush that had the green or whatever shade you're using and just pull it over instead of going back and forth. And I didn't want to go back and forth with this because this green is a flaky shade. And so just by pressing and pulling, you see it did travel it over without making a mess. But I do still have some fallout from, was that second shade? I don't know. Some of the Notoriously Morbid palettes don't have mirrors in them, and it doesn't bother me. Their shadows are expensive, their palettes are expensive, and that's because they do use a lot of multi-chromes and dual chromes. And so give me cheap packaging, and even like the sticker on the front, that looks like what? But give me cheap packaging and no mirror, because we got mirrors. And give me good quality, I'm cool with it. So now we're going to take, what did I say I was going to take? Disembodied. I'm curious if this one, see this way they almost look the same. I think if I put that one here, it'll blend in. So we're going to take Disembodied. That's going to give us some depth to this look. And I don't even know what, when I look at it here, it looks almost black. But when I look where you are, it looks like kind of greenish. Talking about this shade right here. And I don't know what that speck is in the middle. And it did not come out. But up here it's looking kind of greenish. But when I look over, it's like a deep forest green type color. But when I look at it like this in a pan, it looks almost black. So we're going to take that shade. And we are using the Fenty brushes because they're not as dense as the Hourglass brush, which is what we use for that green. But because the shadows are not dense, it just picks up and it lays down. So I'm just patting right now. And you see how this is going on. And now I'm swiping. Like, I have no problem at all. I did not mean to bring that out there, but that we're going to work with it. Because the shadows just go on and they work. And so we're going to use the top part of the brush and just travel that upward and blend like how we did that middle shade. Y'all, look at this. Oh my gosh. I almost didn't do this video. I feel like I say that a lot lately. And we pressed in. This will be the third, fourth time. And we're going to tap off. There's a lot of tap off. There's a lot of this shade on my cloth down here. I'm still taking the extra antihistamines and extra allergy meds for the hives and the rash that I have. And they are going away slowly but surely, but there are still some new ones popping up as hives do, while what I think the issue was another medication. I did stop taking that on the 8th. But it took 2 weeks for me to start getting that negative reaction of hives and rashes. And so I know it's going to take some time for it to work its way completely out of my system. But the hives are getting better. I'm not needing to slather on as much hydrocortisone cream as I was, you know, days ago. So they are clearing up and they're not as itchy, but I still have them on my face. I have like red marks. I can't see it now because of foundation. I have like small red bumps on my forehead, and usually there's a new hive like somewhere else across my entire chin, and you can probably see the bumps. Like all across here is just a rash, and then there's a thing down here you can't see. But it is getting better. But the medications make me sleepier than usual, and I got up before I wanted to get up because I had ordered something from BJ's online for pickup. And then I scheduled that to come back and have like an hour before the live stream. And I started this look before that. This is so freaking easy, y'all. I love this palette. I don't know why I had this brush here, but we're going to put that away. I don't know if I thought I was going to do another shade. Excuse me. If this was original to the palette, I would use this shade for my upper brow bone, but it's not. So we're just going to leave it just like it is. And what we are going to do, though, is we're just going to take this brush. It has no shadow on it. And we're going to start blending upward on the outer edge because it's darker there. We don't really want to mix the colors. So I probably should have started inside. So we're just going to come here to where the second shade starts. And we're just going to lightly feather. We're using a taper brush. So we're just lightly feathering just right here, just to bring it up a little bit more and to further the blend. So you can blend just using a brush with no shadow on it, as long as it's loose enough, not so loose you don't have control. And that's why I like taper brushes. And some of the shadow is coming off because I'm seeing some sparkles in here. But just using the tip of it, holding the brush near the end and just lightly feathering, that'll give you a blend too, especially if the shadow is already partially blended like it was. And so we're not going to use a brow bone highlight. Look at that. We're not going to use a brow bone highlight. We're going to do a little bit right in here versus adding more because this is a sparkly shade and I don't want to encourage fallout. So this is the eye look. I have out, excuse me, 2 different green eyeliners to use, but I'm liking this look the way it is. I do see sparkles on my face. This is the brush that we use for Eternal Light. The one that got me looking all toasty. It is pretty though. And if someone didn't know me, they would probably think this was my complexion. Hourglass powders, the formula is phenomenal, but you know, I understand why some people just refuse, because I refused for years. And then I messed around and bought one, and now, you know, I got a few. So we're going to take that green still, which now I'm second guessing because it's messy. But we're still going to take that green, which is otherworldly. We're going to take a short smudger brush. It's a stubby brush. And we're just going to press straight in. I just had a thought, like, what if this was not recording and I'm just talking and talking and talking. I am tapping off. And we're just going to press very gently because shadows like this will puff up into my, oh, look at that. Will puff up into my eye. So I'm just tapping in. We are tapping off. And even with that little bit of tap in, it is tapping off. And we're just going to lightly press. I'm not going to swipe. I'm not going back and forth. I'm just pressing. A press and a slight wiggle. And that's all, because this will get in my eye and my eye will start tearing horribly. So we're going to put that brush down. We're going to take this brush, a tapered pencil brush, and we're going to take the Parted, this shade here, and we're going to put that on the outer portion of the lid. This is a soft shadow. The shadows in this palette are softer than this chunking up. Well, not chunking up, but it's like flaking off. So I'm going to tilt it and a chunk. I tilted it and tapped it and like pieces fell out onto my station. The shadows in here are different. And they do hand press some of their shadows. And so the formula is not always consistent across palettes. Like somebody else may have this same palette and the formula might not be as soft. And so since this is not as flaky, it's only flaky like when I swipe in it, but this one is just a sparkly shade. And so we're going to put this over here. We're going to go to the green and pull over. And then we're going to just come out here and put this here. And that's going to be it. So look how that looks blue, but we do have, what color is that? That was Gypsy Blue. So we put that over a Gypsy Blue and it brought out the blue. This shade is this center shade right here. So we're tapping in and little pieces are like flaking up. So we're going to tap off these. I wonder if that's what it was too, is that some of these shadows were just so soft that I have to remember and I have to be careful using them. Where y'all know I just go ham and dig in stuff and pack it on my lids. You know what I mean? But every time I do a look with it, I'm like, yeah, I like the payoff. And it is easy to use. It was just a learning curve because these are softer than the other Notoriously Morbid, excuse me, shadows that I have. But I do really like it. And I do love the color story. That blue, look how that's showing up. Oh my gosh. So that is everything for the palette. We use only 3 shades. Y'all, what's happening to me using 3 shades? So we use this one, Otherworldly, this one, Departed, and Disembodied. Those are the 3 shadows we use. Because y'all, sometimes I'll be putting on 5, 6, 7 shades. So when I use only 3, I'm like, what's happening? Besides me dropping stuff? Okay. All right, I'll pick you up later. So for eyeliner, I was thinking green already. But now I'm like, I don't know. So the 2 greens I had pulled out, I had Inglot number 86, which is a bright green. That might look nice. That'll play off the inner corner shade. And I also pulled out Fortune, which is what I think I'm going to do. This is a darker green. It almost looks black. We're going to use that one. I don't know why, but that's what we're going to do. So I do have a brush here. So I'm glad I have a cloth here because them tap-offs was tapping off. And that red started falling out earlier, so I had to, I'm just refolding my cloth like 3 times because I had to fold it a certain way to cover up the red so that that wouldn't get everywhere. And then I just refolded it so it just tapped off from this look. Excuse me. Wouldn't get onto my station and onto my arms because like right now my elbow is on top of the cloth. So yeah, I said this was Fortune. It's the MAC 210 brush. I'm going very lightly. I'm still learning how to do a thin line. I am able to get a thin line with this brush. And my gel liners, the creamiest ones are Inglot. And the next one would be the Melt ones, which are almost the same consistency as MAC Fluid Line. MAC's Paint Pots, that is a more dry formula, and they are designed to be shadow bases. The Paint Pots are designed to be shadow bases. I want to say, though, the Fluid Lines are a little more creamy than Melt Cosmetics, but definitely Inglot is the creamiest of them all. I did not dip back in. I was about to, but I didn't. And so as I'm using it, it reminds me of the different consistencies from when I use Inglot versus the Fluid Line versus Melt. Because with Inglot, I don't even know if you can see me. With Inglot, I only need to put a little bit on a brush because if I press too hard on a brush, it'll just, and then I'm just like, ooh, and then my line ends up thicker than I want. And so with Melt, you know, I put a little bit on the brush and then it's like, okay, I'm running out. I need to dip back in. But it's better for me to put too little on the brush versus too much, except when I'm doing my wings, because if I'm trying to bring it out to here, I do need there to be enough eyeliner on a brush to take it out there and not get like stuck like halfway and then go back and add more and then the line is not the same width or whatever, or there's like a blob in the middle of the line. So I like the lines because I can still see my lid shades. If I do a line too thick, not only will you not see the sliver of lid that you see, but it will also transfer up here, and that happens sometimes. If I do a thick liner, then I look up, the liner will end up here. And so we're going to come straight out and we're going to bring it back in, and then we're going to fill in the middle. It always looks janky to me, but then when I look up, it looks okay. But looking down here, I know I got quiet. I'm trying to concentrate. But looking down here, it looks janky. Like, seriously, it does. And I do understand the angle makes a difference. But it does excite me when I look up and I'm like, that was pretty good. And my lighting down here is different than the lighting up here where you are. Sorry to poke you in the eye. So we're going to take it out. My elbow is on the table, or I'll put my elbow on the side of the table. For this one, I am able to just put it on the table. But I'm putting my, like, here's the table. I'm putting my elbow against the table. Sorry if I shook you. So we're going to bring that out and bring it back in. And then we're going to fill in. So we make the shape. Does it look the same? Not at all. This one is thicker and shorter, and this one is longer and thinner. Man, I'm telling you. So what we're going to do, we're going to bring this out. We're going to try to go straight out. I have a habit of doing what I call an accidental swoosh. And then it ends up looking like a hook. And so I've been practicing just going straight out, which this one is, but then this one has the swoosh. So we're going to, excuse me for smacking my lips. So we're going to bring this back in, and we're going to make it thicker because the other side is thicker. This might be a mistake. We're going to see. Thank you for being here with this. There's always a lot of information down below if you're interested in joining. Oh, that looks nice. Still different than that side because this has the swoosh. If you're interested in joining, there's a link down below to see what the perks are, and you can decide if it's worth it to you. It is $2.99 a month. You can cancel at any time. It's not a permanent decision. You can join at any time. You can cancel at any time. I do members only posts. Excuse me. And they do help guide my content. I ask questions, they answer, and so I function off of that sometimes. And it helps, like, if I'm stuck with something or if I'm unsure of should I do this or that. You know, they give their input and their feedback. And also, as a member, you get to submit requests. And so if there's something specific you would like to see me do or try, this one I like because it's coming straight out. This one has the swoosh. It's not going to be any fixing it because I'm not going to make this one swoosh. Excuse me for smacking. So for me, that is a good perk because sometimes you might just want to see me try something makeup wise or what have you. What are we going to do for lip? My nose is looking toasty. Part of me does still want to do this. You know what? We're not. We are going to, I want to do a dark lip, but then I do want to do this afterwards. And I'm going to do this in a separate video, which means not doing a dark lip right now. So y'all know I'm not happy. What are we gonna do? We are going to put on Nematang gloss because this is easy to wipe off. And then I'll cut off, come back on and do a demo for the Haus Labs Atomic Shaker. That's what we're going to do. So this is Nematang, and we're going to put it right on top of chapstick since it is a gloss. And this is, I was calling it Edging, it's Edging. And I did watch that video again, and she pronounced it and said what it means. And this is not named after her dog. 2 of the lip products in her coral set are named after her dogs. And I forget what the names are. One is Bo, and I forget what the other one is. And even though it seems forever ago, that video is only 2 years old. So these have only been out for 2 years. I didn't buy this right away, so this has not been open for 2 years. And this is my second time having this because they had a sale, so I had bought another set. Because I do like this actually showing up and it being a dark color. So yeah, 2 of her coral lip products are named after her dogs. Always lots of information below. I think I already said that. I think that's kind of it for that. I don't know what I feel like I'm missing that I was going to tell you or talk to you about. I do like this. I mean, yeah, we do kind of have a dark lip, even though it's a gloss, and I do like that it is a pigmented gloss because most glosses don't show up on me much. But this is the look. Thank you so much for being. My nose is toasty. So, oh, mascara. I knew we was forgetting something. I knew it. I was like, what am I stalling for? This is Max Stack mascara. I received the mascara in PR. I think you'll see this video after that one, so I could have actually used that mascara. And I've only used it once in that try-on video. And I really like it, even though it was only the first time I used it. But I really liked it. I had it on for, I forget how many hours, but it didn't flake or anything. And I forgot that I had it on. And it's supposed to give you a noticeable difference in how your lashes look after 42 days of use. Because there's the lash serum built into the mascara. And they said it's made for sensitive eyes. It did not irritate my eyes, which some stuff for sensitive eyes or sensitive skin does still irritate me, but it really didn't. So I'm really excited about it. And that will be the mascara I use once this one is done. And I keep thinking this one is done, but then when I use it again, I'm like, okay, you're not done yet. So I am excited about that. And I know I didn't say what it was, but you'll see that video before this one. Actually, it's the Quigley Blvd Mascara 2053 is what it's called. But I do really like it. There is a link down below for it. It is an affiliate link. They contacted me to see if I wanted to try their stuff. And I was like, sure. So it worked out really well. So this is the look that we have. I'm excited for it. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have some kind of haunted. And I will say, as with most palettes these days, if you have more than 10 palettes, you have similar colors. So we use this one here. We used this one. So if you have a dual chrome that looks like that. And we use this shade up here. That's it. So if you have these similar shades, you can probably do this look. So that's going to be it. Thank you for being here. Let me know your thoughts. And I appreciate you for being here. I feel like I'm forgetting something. As always, self-acceptance, self-love. That is the Crazy Troll Nation way. Thank you. And you will see me again. It's probably still stuttering. You will see me again real soon. Thanks.